Hello and welcome to Strive, where we talk about security, technology, resilience and everything IT, all in a virtual environment. I'm Darren Thomson, your host and field CTO at Commvault. Today I'm joined by Ravit Jain, founder and host of the Ravit Show and one of the most influential voices in data and AI. Today we're going to be talking about conversational AI and unified resilience and how they're transforming the way organizations interact with data, how intelligence, automation are converging to make cyber recovery faster. Ravit, welcome to Strive and thanks so much for being with us today.
Darren, such a pleasure to be here and super excited to chat about various things around conversational AI, what's happening in the industry, and obviously learning more from the announcements that you all have made as well.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So look, you've spent some time now talking about what we call AI as a human and in particular AI storytelling. Tell us a little bit about that for the Strive audience that haven't been exposed to that before.
Yeah, for sure. This is very important because what I feel is, for me, even before technology, human comes first. But now where we have the human and technology meeting, that's very interesting. You've been seeing with AI, there's obviously a lot of conversation that happens around like, it's going to replace human. But I feel AI is actually making human much more powerful in the work that they're doing. Today, we are seeing AI actually helping and even, getting these enterprise leaders maybe more productive in the work that they're doing in the security space, in in other places where it's also about industries like finance, like healthcare. So I feel human is actually playing an important role, but AI is actually pushing the human power to another level.
Right.
So it's more about how faster you are getting to do your work as compared to AI will replace us. So I feel human plus AI or technology is always an interesting topic, and we are understanding that more than ever right now.
So the word that comes up a lot in the conversations that I have at an executive level with our customers and our partners is the word trust. I think that's like a key word as people start to adopt AI. And for me, the next couple of years, maybe even sooner because of the speed this thing's moving, that trust thing is going to go one way or the other. We're going to start fundamentally distrusting AI, or we're going to do something that makes us trust it more and we're going to embrace it.
Exactly.
And I feel like the topics that you talk about are in some way going to contribute to that. Talk to us a little bit about trust.
I feel trust plays a very important role, and it is actually the first thing which any leader in any industry would want to have in place before even getting into a technology. Nowadays, and I know you talk to a lot of customers as well, Darren, and across the globe, the first thing that you will always hear from these enterprise leaders or the CIOs is, Darren, everything is good, the announcements that you all are making, but how do we trust this technology?
Yes.
How do we trust AI? How do we make sure where our data is not being gone to LLM and it's been accessed by someone whom we wouldn't want them to access, right? And these are customer sensitive data as well, the financial records, the healthcare records. So that's where trust kind of comes into the game. And if there's, say a resiliency process that comes into the game where they have solutions in place which can help them adopt the technology in the most easiest way possible, while they know that the data or the conversation that we are now having with the system is very much secured. I know who's actually accessing the data within the departments as well.
Right.
That is where conversation becomes easier. Nowadays, we are all having that conversation with AI. I'm seeing, leaders also not getting into the dashboards, but just asking questions clearly, right? Or even those technical reports, they don't have to go out and see each technical report. They just need to have that conversation going, but with trust.
Yes.
So if that trust is developed within the organization by solution providers, I feel that becomes a very important piece for the enterprise leaders also to say that, oh yes, we can have these AI systems into the game and we can be much faster in what we are doing. Like just ask a question around what's your recovery readiness?
Right.
That can just change the game if they have everything very much in plain English language.
And I feel like some of that is probably down to time. So if we have that conversation with an AI and we over time learn to trust that AI and it gives us the right answers, then trust comes. We get into this virtuous cycle.
Exactly.
Where we start to embrace more because the experience has been good.
100%.
And you've mentioned the word conversation a couple of times there, and you and I have had discussions around this concept of that the Commvault are actually working very hard on right now in engineering, which is conversational AI.
Yep.
So this idea that to operate Commvault, to operate a cyber resilience platform, you could see it's quite technical. It can be quite detailed. We'd like as much as possible to abstract that detail away and allow people to have an English language or any language conversation as a human with the Commvault platform. And we're definitely kind of moving in that direction.
Yep.
Give us your thoughts on that. How important is that in the context of some of what we've been discussing?
Like I said, it is something which is very important in terms for those security teams which are also sitting behind the scenes. It's not only just those enterprise leaders who are actually customer facing or who are actually trying to get information or data from the systems. I feel this is the most important step which Commvault is getting into, and obviously making it as secure as possible, where the security teams now know what's the recovery plan, what's if there are attacks that happen, how do we kind of stop that in the first place? If that happens, what's the timeline of the recovery as well? I know you all also work very hard on the how quick it can be recovered, which is a very important thing. Like we've discussed this, Darren, I feel off air as well, which is where CISOs used to think that 60 days is like the minimum, or 45 days is like the minimum, where we'll, if we are attacked, we need to recover from that. But Commvault is been changing that game for them.
Yeah.
Because y'all are trying to make sure where conversation can be real time, but at the same time, they don't need to worry about the security, the governance in place. Yeah. And having that clean data is another important piece. So I feel having that conversation for the security teams, if they can get everything firsthand about, what's the recovery plan, how the governance is in place, are we trying to be attacked by bad guys? If yes, what do we have in place? But everything in just conversational piece. So now what happens is this also gives an edge to those non-technical leaders in the space. Even the business leaders now have a complete vision over how secured we are. Right. That's where the trust kind of also
that's delivered in English, which is interesting, isn't it? Because something I've definitely seen in my career, and particularly as I've kind of progressed to sort of the board level, if you like, has been the language difficulties that occur between the technical teams and the senior exec. Right. So the technical teams are doing their hardest, they're trying their hardest, trying to do all the right things to make the company secure, for example.
Right.
The board, that gets mistranslated in some way. That affects budgets as well as motivation and all kinds of other things. That's been a massive problem. So I guess this kind of conversational AI stuff will also help us to start to break down some of those technical barriers as well.
Yeah.
And for me, there's as much to do with culture as anything here, right? Technology is something, it will automate good process, and good process will embed in good culture. And so for me, I'm passionate about that sort of cultural and people side, really, of cyber resilience.
Yeah.
And making AI more human, I guess, just makes it part of the team. So,
yes.
so that would make sense. So we briefed you today at the press briefing around Unity.
Yes.
So our new improved platform, bringing together data security, protection, as well as identity protection as well. Give us your thoughts around that briefing today.
Any CISO that you talk to, Darren, first thing they're going to ask is, tell us about the protection plan, tell us about the governance, tell us about the resiliency.
Right.
How far can we be secured?
Right.
And obviously there are bad guys who will come after, obviously companies, data, and they would want to go after that. But what's the plan to be secured there as well? How fast can we be recovered? But in a way which is where governance kind of also plays a very important role. I'm pretty sure, Darren, because you do global work, there's GDPR in Europe, there's other regulations in other continents, and that is also a very important piece for companies that are globally having presence, right? You work with companies who have presence here in the United States and then Europe as well. But now, and sometimes it's also about the customer data, which needs to be secured in various ways. That's where the governance kind of piece come into the game. And I feel the Unity platform is actually a game changer for any CISO out there, because you would need everything under one umbrella.
Yes.
And if Unity platform is doing that for them, now they have the governance, explainability, they know that resiliency is in place, they know what the plan is. So I feel that was a big problem for CISOs, those enterprise leaders earlier, where they wanted to have like multiple tools doing it, and sometimes the integration is like the biggest problem. But with Unity, what I feel is y'all are unifying and creating that layer for CISOs where you have everything in just one place, and we'll make sure where you don't have to worry about the security, the governance, the resiliency. We'll take care of everything in just one platform, and you don't have to worry about the integration as well, right? So I feel if anyone who's actually wanting to make sure where they have the governance in place, resiliency in place, Unity is like the way to go. So congrats on this announcement. I can't wait to obviously chat with the customers of Commvault, and I know y'all have been testing already this into the beta version with a lot of customers and getting their feedback around how good this is. And y'all always make sure where y'all only announce things when they are ready. Yeah. So I'm excited about it. I'm excited to see the next 1 or 2 quarters. And with AI, the things have changed massively. This is also a good way to make sure where your AI stacks are very much protected in a way where your customer data is not going out.
Right.
It's been managed under just one platform, and we'll make sure that anything that you have around AI, the LLMs, you're talking to them, everything secured under Unity platform. So I feel that's why it is actually a game changer. Yeah. And thanks for giving us all the briefing around the Unity platform as well.
We're really excited about the announcement. Yeah. Again, the platform is only good as the organization that is supporting the platform.
Yes,
we've been talking a lot about ResOps.
Yep.
And I know you have views on ResOps and how AI can enable that as well.
Totally.
Just leave our audience though with a couple of thoughts. What should they be? What should be top of mind right now in terms of, number one, leveraging AI for the best for their organization? How can they make sure they're making the most of AI technology? But also, how can they best protect themselves against the AI threat? Give us some thoughts there.
I feel the most important piece here is, and which I feel like sometimes enterprise leaders, CISOs kind of feel threatened is, oh, should we really have AI systems into our game? Yes. And now, this year was the year of implementation, and I've seen so many companies implementing AI into the game.
I saw a number yesterday, 78% of enterprises are leveraging LLMs and AI.
Exactly. Right. So that's the number we've reached. And just a year back, if we go back, it was just in the experimentation phase. But now we've reached a level where all the companies are using it. You wouldn't want to go behind. So first things first, start using it. Start having a secure plan for yourself. Like, if you're thinking about taking that one step into adoption, think about the problems as well. The common problems are AI governance. Sometimes it's like you all don't have those guardrails in place. So if you can have those guardrails in place, make sure that the teams know about it. And what guardrails do we need to have in place? Making sure that data is the most important thing, even when you're talking about AI. So data quality is that comes into the game, and clean data that comes into the game, which will help you in the recovery plan. So having that, I would say, the security stack built up as well, you need to make sure that that's built up straight, right? Now there are obviously tools like Unity which can help you build it in no time. You just need to make sure you know what problems you all are trying to solve, and then go out and try all the AI systems and use those AI systems to make your work more productive. It will just go back to learning that, okay, here were the problems we were facing, and here are the solutions we've already put into the game. And it will just make your job easier. And that's the future. I feel every company will be using AI in some or the other way, and there will be guardrails in place, and there will be companies like Commvault helping them get to the next level.
Look, it's really refreshing to hear such a sort of positive outlook on AI.
100%.
We hear a lot of doom and gloom, so it's nice. It's nice to keep that balance. Yep. We're out of time as we expected. You and I will talk forever if people,
I know, right?
People let us. But look, thanks so much for being with us in New York this week at the Shift event, and in particular, thanks for being with us on the Strive podcast.
Darren, this was fun. We'll do it again, and keep up all the great work. Thank you.
So that's all we have time for in this episode of Strive. If today's discussion got you thinking about how AI can make resilience smarter and more accessible, please visit readyverse.com to look at our latest insights on the topics that you heard today. In the meantime, thanks for listening to Strive, and I'll see you in the next one.